Warped Tour.
It's Michael in the air.
Airborne.
Airborne Michael.
I actually got like 3 feet of air that time.
You got some good air on that tour, man.
Yeah.
And you did the thing where you the Every Time I Die thing, where you were like
threw the guitar up, caught it. Yeah. I did that nearly that's my favourite guitar as well. I won't even bring that guitar out on tour anymore. But yeah, every show on Warped Tour, I tossed it up into the air and managed to catch it again, and it didn't break.
I tried to do that with my mic about 2 nights ago, and I wasn't wearing any contact lenses, so I realised I threw it up really high and couldn't really see it. And then...
Wait, is that what that noise was?
No, I did catch it, but I was like, not very graceful about it at all. This is Warped Tour 2017. We were still on our first album cycle, as you can see from the blue glitchy BM over the amp covers. That was a really good tour for us. It was one of the best summer we ever had, I think. I posted a video on our Instagram the other day of the best off day we ever had, which was us, Not Loose, Microwave, and Movements. We're in Texas, and we all went and floated down a river. And we had like, I guess it's a thing over here, but obviously we don't get it in the UK. But it was like rubber dinghy rings, things, I don't know.
Inner tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
They're just called tubes.
Tubes.
Or
We're in
floaties.
Floaties. Floaties are different in the UK. There's something else. Yeah, there was like a cooler attached to it, and then we just got super drunk and floated down the river.
Oh my god.
That's when we were recording Be Nothing, right?
Yeah.
In the studio.
Nice t-shirt, dude.
There's a band in the UK called Muskets, and they got robbed on tour, and we sent them some money just to help them out and stuff like that, and they sent us some t-shirts to the studio, and that was, I think, mid-recording Be Nothing, and that was early morning, me and Ash in a blanket drinking brews, very cozy.
We drank so many brews every single day. It was crazy.
I had long hair.
Brews are not beers to our American fans.
Yeah.
Brews are tea.
Black tea with milk.
Yeah.
Which I feel like people don't get over here.
Do you want room for cream?
Creamer?
I want cream in my tea.
Grim. Half and half.
Yeah, we recorded at a place called The Ranch, and it was literally a ranch, and just to make a cup of tea you had to visit 3 places that was across from each other in a courtyard in the rain, in the freezing cold. And when you showered, you had to hold the shower door in place when you were showering in an outhouse. It was very fun. And when I say fun, I mean horrible.
That is in a venue called the First Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. That was the second time we played there. And the green room was the preschool attached to it. So that's why Ash and I are sitting on tiny little miniature...
Tiny tables.
Tiny little tables. We're not very popular at that venue.
We got in trouble.
It's cool, like, the shows are real fun, but it is literally in the basement of a church, so you gotta lug a big bass cab down, like, rickety little stairs 2 days in a row. Isn't that fun? But I kind of felt a bit bad. It's a bit surreal, really, you know, little kids... Like, the kids were packing up and leaving. The little preschool kids, when we were, like, loaded into the venue. And then, you know, we wait for them to leave, we go in their classroom, and they just dump a big crate of beers on, like, the kids' tables and stuff. The green room the first time was the church itself. We didn't realise that it was actually an active church, because why would you let a load of punks in a real church and give them a load of alcohol? Like, it's a terrible idea. So me and Dan and Danny from Can't Swim found our way up to the organ, and we were just like playing the organ, like beer, just chilling on the side of it, which is not cool, but we didn't know that it was actually in use or whatever. And all the lights were on and the door was open. It was just like, there it is. Went in there, and then the sound guy was like pissed off, and he like tried to fight us basically. Unfortunately though, he came in when we were like, I wonder if like, because obviously organs are so big, and I was like, I wonder if all 3 of us can press every key at once.
They have like these foot pedals as well. So I was like, using both feet.
Yeah, we were like that,
and
leaning
like
on
this.
him. And then he came in right as we were like making the most horrendous
It was
noise.
so loud.
It's a super old, super expensive organ as well, wasn't it? Didn't he? I think he might have lied, but he said it's worth like $500,000 or something like that.
We went to apologise to the guy because we were like, our bad, we didn't know. Like, given that is a church, it's mad disrespectful if you knew it was church. But we went and apologised, and then homie tried to fight us, so we're not cool with that guy. But the venue still let us back, so like I say, so
They might not
It all
after they
works.
see this video if they ever see it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that takes us back.
First European DIY tour we've ever done. That's in Paris, and that does not exist anymore because the bridge was there's so many locks on that bridge that it fell down or collapsed or something.
It was starting to collapse.
It was starting to collapse, so they had to take it down. But yeah, we broke down actually the day before that in our little red van, and was stranded in Paris with no help because it's like a DIY tour.
And it was Bastille Day.
Bastille Day.
So it was like a national holiday in France. So there was like no getting a hired van or anything like that. So we were literally stranded in like the suburbs of Paris.
Yeah, we just had to make the most of it. So we're like,
So we just
let's just go to Paris.
Yeah, let's just go
Enjoy
into
the day.
Paris. Yeah, my insurance company was calling me up, and I was just cancelling the calls because I was like, "No, I'm on holiday today." And yeah, we just made the best of it. Bunch of us had never seen the Eiffel Tower before, and it was really cool actually, but also
yeah.
a little bit scary. Yeah, we'd only been a band for about not even a year.
We still didn't know how we were going to get home at that point as well. We're just like, let's just enjoy today and then work out the rest later.
Do you not remember us putting in? We had to pay like X amount of money, and we didn't have that much money. So we just put as much money as we could out. We just just emptied all of our wallets, and then we were like, okay, now we're stranded because we have no money as well.
Yeah.
So that was.
So what happened was we broke down just as we were coming outside of Paris into the suburbs at a toll booth, and we broke down before we went through the barrier, and we broke down. We'd had a really heavy night before, so everyone in the back was super hungover, and we were telling them, we put our high vis jackets on, and we were like, we've broken down. And they didn't believe us for the longest time, so no one would come out and help us push the van. And in the time it took us to push the van through the toll, which we had to pay for, the price tripled. And so that was a quick, like, I think like 60 to 80 euros. And then when we got to the side of the road, the police turned up, and we tried to call breakdown, but they said, if you don't let us tow you off the road now, we're going to arrest you, and also we're going to fine you as well. And then the people came and towed us off for a cool 300 euros, which was all of our money.
Yeah, we were like,
which we had to pay.
We were like kids and like on our first ever DIY tour of Europe, and you know, Mike had bought this little old red postal van, which was, God bless it, but it was a piece of shit. And it was just about getting us by, and then that was a real kick in the pants. But it was look, I have real fond memories of that week when we were just sitting. It was the summertime. We were just kind of like living out of this little van in this weird French village in the middle of nowhere, because the guy towed us for like 3 hours out of the city, 2 hours maybe, and then but yeah, it was fun. It was like those experiences is what made us as a band, because it made us very resilient, and it's like, if you can exist in a small space as friends and not tear each other's heads off in those situations, then you can stay together indefinitely. Like we're five best friends, and we never fall out because we're just a unit from those early days of DIY touring. So kids wanting to start bands, do DIY touring first. It teaches you how to not be a piece of shit when you are the opener for a big band and not know what you're doing. And it also makes you stronger as a unit and makes you play better as well. So if you can play in shitty sound in VFW halls and stuff like that, then you can play anywhere pretty much.
Is that me?
That was the 4-year strong tour, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's when we played like a million shows in Germany, and we
super
saw
ill.
everyone was really ill, and we saw no sunshine for about 3 weeks.
That place, that was the promoter's house at the show that we stayed at, and that to this day is the coldest building I've ever been in. The guy would not turn the heating on. I think you turned the heating on eventually, but American bands always say this, and it's so true. Like, Europe just doesn't turn the heating on. They just don't have warm houses, and it was like a stone floor. Like, obviously that cold outside. Yeah, and everybody except me was like really sick as well, so it was pretty miserable, I think. But we woke up to some pretty snow, so that's cool.
That was here.
First US tour.
Mate, so I don't have any contact lenses in, and I thought that was an actual pyramid then. I was like, when the fuck were we in Egypt? That's crazy.
or like the Louvre or something.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Awesome day out.
CDs are in there as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they give you free entry if you're in a band, and all you have to do is give them a couple of copies of your CD, and they, like Dan said, they lock it up in a vault.
Is that Yen? I think that's Jennings Compton, isn't it?
Yenny and Matty, our old tour manager.
Yeah, so our old tour manager, and then Jennings is actually tour managing the tour that we're on at the moment, but he drove us on our first ever US tour. We owe him a lot. He's a really good friend.
That was a cake that our very dear friend Kieran Kelly had made for us on our last show of our UK headliner last November, and that was in Manchester, and it was a wicked sold out show at Gorilla. And I don't think you can see on there, but he even put like little red lights in the trunk and in the underneath the car, like in the photo, and it was delicious as well. So thank you, Kieran Kelly.
So yeah, we
were just talking about this photo.
yeah. Ash, do you want to
cinch it?
each one of those guitar cabs? I know they just kind of like, apart from the last one, they all just like look like normal guitar cabs. But I think the first one was owned. This was in El Paso when we were recording. First one was owned by Jerry Finn, which was the producer of the Smiths and obviously Blink-182 and stuff. Second one is at the Drive-Ins, and the last one was Ministries. And Ministries spent, I think they lived in that studio for about 2 or 3 years in the middle of nowhere, and I thought that was pretty awesome. And actually, the one we ended up choosing was at the Drive-Ins. It sounded the best.
Was it?
But, yeah. And it was, it's sick.
They lived there constantly for 3 years, but they spent a grand total of on and off 5 years just recording these 2 records.
In the house that we were staying in.
Yeah, and we're big fans of Ministry, but some of the stories they told us of their time there. I mean, they're famous for how crazy they are and were, but I think then they were at their peak of just insanity. So there's a lot of cool stories. But that place, Sonic Ranch in El Paso, is like a bit of a museum in a way. There's just history everywhere of just guitars to paintings. They had 40 original Salvador Dali paintings just across the premises. Dan had one hanging over his bed. It was crazy. And then just some of the instruments that they have, and amazing equipment and microphones and pedals. We're like music geeks a little bit, and to be there and just sort of be able to like play with some of the stuff was a real treat for us. Hey, we're Boston Manor. For more videos of your favorite artists, please like and subscribe to APTV.